The World Health Organization is to declare polio a global health emergency after outbreaks in areas previously said to be free of the disease. And Egyptians are voting on the second day of their presidential election. And indeed, the newspaper coverage in Egypt is generally very positive, saying that people have created history, that after so many years they have the opportunity now and are exercising their vote in the most dignified fashion. A lot of very positive coverage of what's going on there in Egypt. The voting continues today and the results are expected on Sunday. How do you stop women being trafficked from foreign countries to the United States and then sold into prostitution? Well, here's one potential answer. Arrest the men who use prostitutes to try to reduce demand. And in New York, there is an innovative scheme which teaches men arrested for buying sex about the consequences of prostitution for both the women and their clients. The BBC's Laura Trevelyan spent the night at what's called John School in Brooklyn.
Now, the next time you get arrested for patronizing a prostitute, there will be no offer. Guys, this is a one-shot deal.
Welcome to John School. The 60 men in this room range from young to old. 6 interpreters are on hand to translate Brooklyn Assistant District Attorney Chris Lely. The diverse audience has one thing in common. They've all been arrested for trying to buy sex. Instead of going to jail, they're attending a class about the dangers of prostitution, learning how women are often the victims of sex trafficking.
The average age of entry into prostitution is between 11 to 14 years old. Little kids, little girls, they are having their youth taken from them.
The idea is to educate this audience about how women are smuggled across borders and forced into prostitution. The men may even be able to help the victims, according to Ronnie Jouse, head of the Brooklyn District Attorney's Sex Crimes Unit.
We've had a few cases where Johns have actually saved a prostitute when she has told him that she was being trafficked. He has in fact brought her to the police. He didn't go in with her to the police, but he's dropped her off to save her.
And usually the discharge for gonorrhea is yellow or greenish in color.
Little is left to the imagination during a presentation on sexually transmitted diseases. A few men squirm in their seats. This is only the beginning, though. The highlight of John School is Rosetta Menifee, a plain-speaking former prostitute.
I was a throwaway to you, like all them other girls out there. There's potential. You're not helping. You're hindering.
Rosetta tells the men bluntly that they can't ignore the consequences of using a prostitute.
We're going out there, picking up some broken female, and then she's using drugs or giving it to a pimp who's fighting for territories and gang involved, and then you want to act like you're not part of the downfall of the community by your behavior.
Some of the men are taken aback, others look angry, but everyone is listening. Ronnie Jouse says Rosetta makes an impact every time.
You can hear a pin drop. People are actually just awed by what she says, because it doesn't just put a face on prostitution, it lets you inside and understand what led her to become a prostitute. It's really an extraordinary piece.
So gonorrhea, anywhere from 2 to 10 days.
As the evening progresses, some of the men come and talk to me. Most claim they're not guilty and never meant to pay for sex. Others see John School as a revelation. One man tells me he never realized that prostitutes can be trafficking victims.
I really, didn't think it was such a big thing, in the country. But now that I know at this point, the only thing I could do is spread the word and prevent anybody else from getting into trouble.
If I got caught with a date, he was always let go.
The organisers claim just 1% of men who've gone through John School are rearrested for patronising prostitutes. But critics question how effective a one-night programme can really be in changing behaviour and attitudes. This is certainly a classroom unlike any other, where consumers of sex learn how their behaviour is hurting women.
Laura Trevelyan reporting this. More on the BBC's in-depth investigation into sex trafficking at the website bbcnews.com. Well, in the morning rush for work, most people